Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about how generosity is good for you. And this week we're quite taken with how Hurricane Harvey has just smashed into Texas and how we're going to have one of the biggest rebuilding issues in our lives, and we're all charmed by the people who are helping other people. This is the best of America. And the question is why should we be generous? And what is it in our instinct that makes us generous? Well, first of all, every religious tradition through history has talked about giving money away to the poor. In Christianity, Jesus talks more about giving away money than almost any other topic, as does Judaism. Throughout the Old Testament there, what we call the Old Testament, there are multiple references of taking care of justice for the poor, and that comes down to economic justice. But the same thing applies to Buddhism, and in Islam. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It's one of the central tenets of Hinduism. Every major religion throughout history has done this. Well, why have they done that? And my hunch is because they knew intuitively it was good for you. And here's the issue. Here's the science we begin to put around it. One study published in America here, looking at a statistical sample of Americans across the whole country, over age 50, and then following them for 4 years, showed that folks who volunteered 200 hours a year, that's 4 hours a week, and then followed up for the next 4 years, had a 40% reduction in developing high blood pressure. That's about as powerful an intervention as taking a pill. Well, what happens if you do take a pill? Short-term study published in 2015 looked at elderly folks given $40 and told they had to dispose of it. Now, half of them were told they had to spend it in one day. The other half were told they had to give it away. Guess what happened to the folks who gave it away? One more time, they had a reduction in blood pressure, about the same order of what you'd get in taking a pill. Isn't that interesting? My own personal experience is I was very touched as a child growing up in India at our little Christian church. Every year we had what was called the Mutti Dhan offering, and that stands for a handful of rice. And the local families would bring up literally a fistful of rice and give it in the offering plate. Now, these are folks living on $2 to $3 a day for the whole family, and yet they have the same admonition. Their happiness depends on being generous to somebody less off than themselves. So, what will work for me? I intend to support relief work for Hurricane Harvey, and I hope you do too. If you look around, think about where you can volunteer, think about where you can participate in activities that help those around you. And going forward, as you age, one strategy for keeping your brain healthy is connecting with other people and being generous. So this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about how generosity is good for you.